I'd like to welcome everybody to the August meeting of the Policy Board of the MPO. We do have a quorum, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. And the first thing on our agenda is public comment. Is anybody here from the public wishing to make a comment this evening? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public comment. And we'll move on to the approval of the minutes, which is in your packet. Hopefully you had a chance to review, and if there are no changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting. It's been moved and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, so we're moving on to committee reports. And tonight we have the Citizens Advisory Committee. Christian is here to present. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey there. Thank you for having me, Krishna Biltso.
I'm sorry.
Is that for me? No.
That's spam.
That's your starting
Try
time.
again.
Yeah.
Same that you all have, mostly just discussion items, but we did have a quorum. Good discussion about the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. A lot of kudos from the committee. A lot of interesting discussion about the sub-area ideas, the ones that you'll discuss outside of city limits. A lot of great work by Jing and Jackie and Bill. We appreciate that. And then wanted to express a shout out and thanks from Matt Cross from the Pedestrian Board for all of the work on the ADA ramps in the city, to whomever was responsible for that, or however many entities were. So with that, yeah, there was nothing we voted on, so yeah. So it was pretty light.
All right. Thank you very
Questions?
much.
Thank you.
Questions? All right. Thanks, Kristen. All right, appreciate it. Next, we have our finance report. Mayor Lewis, can you hear us?
Mayor? Is the sound on for the TV? Let me check. Mayor Lewis, can you hear us? Mayor Lewis, can you hear us?
And she's off mute.
Yeah, she's not muted. She's off mute.
So we have a little technical difficulties. We can maybe.
May I interrupt for you?
Yeah.
Could you check the sound on the on the TV itself?
Technology is great when it works.
I didn't want to hit the wrong.
Here we go.
Mayor, Patty, can you say something? We can see if we're picking you up. Please be patient with us as we work out these technical difficulties.
She could also type out
Yeah.
or in the chat and have someone here read it from the chat.
I'm typing.
I can call her if you want.
Actually,
I think I was trying to
Mayor Lewis, can you type in the chat box if you can hear us?
The report's in the packet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we
Hi,
go.
Patty.
I can hear you guys, but you can't hear me for some reason.
Well, I'll turn up the volume on this and maybe you can.
Put her up to your mic.
Put it to your mic. That'll work.
The mic doesn't do much. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah, can you guys hear her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, very good. The beginning balance for May of 2025 was $54,323.76. We had 2 deposits in May totaling $46,627.15. 22 disbursements totaling $58,592.28. With an ending balance in May of $42,358.63. Carried over then into June, we had 2 deposits of $37,728.44. 24 disbursements totaling $61,133.36, leaving us an ending balance in June of $15,953.71. carried over into July. We had 6 deposits of $138,287.82, 21 disbursements totaling $80,087.07, leaving us an ending balance in July of $77,154.46.
Move to accept the,
Did you get that, Jim?
yes,
You bet. We all did.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Very good.
tell her we moved and seconded.
Fine, my speakers are working. I don't know why you can't hear me, but okay.
I'm just going to leave you on here if you have other votes or other things to say during the meeting. We have somebody that did it first.
Yes.
We have a first and a second to approve the financial report. Any questions? Without that, then we'll vote.
Have her mute when she can hear. Have her mute.
Oh, well, she can hear already. Oh,
Mute your phone.
okay. All right.
All right.
I still hear it.
It's because the speaker from the computer is going to be talking to her phone, so we'll hear it.
Yeah.
We're hearing on her end too. She should mute her
Oh,
phone
if you
until she's
mute-
ready to
Yeah,
say
she needs to mute it so that way she can
If
hear.
I can mute mine, then we can't hear her.
Yeah, have her mute
Oh, if you
hers.
mute,
She mutes, but she'll still be able to hear us.
That's all.
I will unmute my phone and you can talk.
Tom, you mute your phone, it'll go much quicker.
Yeah. We need to get a sixth grader in here to show us what to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a first and a second to approve the financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. That was one of the more entertaining financial reports we've had, so,
I do want to comment, I like the fact that we use the line of credit, we put the line of credit back, so it's working the way it should work.
Yes.
and it came in very
We need
handy.
that protection, we need that protection.
Yeah,
It came in handy, and fortunately, we only had to use it for a short period of time.
yeah. And the line of credit allowed us to end our fiscal year in a proper manner so we could get the vast majority of our bills submitted in a timely fashion. So it was very useful.
All right, fantastic. Next, we have the executive director's report. Bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Bad echo.
There we go.
Okay. I will let you know that the exit 155 temporary signal has been designed and is scheduled for an October letting.
Does that mean it may be done by December?
That would be,
That was what was last guaranteed to me.
that would be optimistic.
Thank you.
I need a
Okay.
Christmas gift.
Yes.
We have to get started and
Okay.
get finished, right?
Yeah. The Greenbank Road Design Study, which is the MPO's RAISE grant to finish the design for the remainder of Greenbank Road, is in the process of being finalized. There's been internal reviews at DOH and also the MPO's steering committee, which consists of Mr. Andrew Gaspray, City Engineer Damian Davis, City Staff Engineer Drew Gatlin, Ms. Smith, and myself have reviewed the proposed options, and I think we're fairly well satisfied that these options should be presented to the public. And there is a public meeting to be scheduled for that in October.
Okay.
We don't have the date for that yet. Let's see, the 73 Don Knotts Boulevard signal. That project, the signal design is basically finished. They had the final walkthrough to review that signal design. That project should also go for letting for installation next year.
Right at where
Right.
73 is on.
Correct.
Yeah. 24-year plan.
I was going to
We've
say,
been working on this for 24.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
But it's getting done.
it is getting done.
Yes.
The MPO's funding of the design
Yes.
put it over the top.
Thank you.
So we're good. The West Run Van Voorhees projects, their project completions is now scheduled for spring of 2027. And the University Collins Ferry roundabout project is anticipated to be completed by this time next year. We checked with the district, and that was the last date they gave us for that. Now, there's always the potential to run into things as we move forward, but that was the last word I had from the district on it.
So it's partially constructed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is partially constructed. But, yeah, that's the last word I had from the district on it. The ongoing community garden project, we've reimbursed the participants approximately $7,100 of the $14,600 approximately that we have for the project. So that is moving forward. We're waiting for a billing from one of our participants. And another one of our participants has been slowed down and hampered by the unfortunate passing of the project manager that was going to implement that. So they are working to get a new project manager in place and get that particular project going. But we are making good progress with that. The money is doing good for community gardens around the area.
Could we have some sort of tour of the projects?
We have some pictures that we posted in the
Okay.
on the newsletter, and I believe, Jackie, that's also available on our website if you click on the newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah. Jackie's going to do a little presentation on our website discussing the Metropolitan Transportation Plan update. If it's okay with the board, she can also pull up the newsletter and let you see some of those pictures. So all of that has been going very well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Their work on exit 155, the grant project, that is moving forward as far as the Division of Highways goes, as far as working with the Federal Highway Administration, and everything seems to be good on that end. We're still unsure about other portions of it. I would also let you know that the Harmony Grove interchange justification report is in the process of being submitted to the Federal Highway Administration. So there is work on that as well. I believe that that's all the work items directly related. I will let you know that I will be gone for the next 2 weeks on vacation, and then the following week I will be in town, and then I will be gone for another week. The National Association of MPOs conference is that week. It's starting, so I will be leaving September the 14th. Otherwise, I don't have anything going on.
I would like to request,
Sure.
with all this going on, especially the 155 and different projects, if the somehow get the message to the contractors to stay in contact with our transportation director, because we had 50 buses that we're not saying do anything different for the buses,
Yeah.
but if we know what's going on, we have options that we can reroute and do some different things. But those ones, I mean, yesterday there was a lot of kids late for school because of all of that. So anyway, if we can kind of, just the information, communication side of it, and I'm sure Maria would probably like to know that too. I don't know how you've ever scheduled the
There are
buses.
some projects that they do report to us and some they don't.
Yeah,
So-
and that it just helps if we have the information.
Yeah, and what I'll do with that is I'll pass that on and get his contact information and ask the district construction project, or the district construction manager to pass that out. I do have a good working relationship with them. So.
Yeah, it would just help, because Tony's got to schedule these buses, and if he knows ahead of time, he can work wonders with routing and everything.
This may be the time I could ask then, it's more for the city of Morgantown, because you could probably answer this question better. The paving that's going on Dorsey at Green Bag Road, that is part of Capito's $8 million project, is that correct? That is, I'm receiving hundreds of calls because of what happened today with the intersection, and no one knew what was going on. That has nothing to do with our Green Bag Road project, correct?
I am not aware of that situation. I had not heard about it. I saw something on Facebook that was posted, but I had not been directly. But my understanding is that our Green Bag Road project is still being held up in right-of-way.
Okay, but, so, because I want it really clear, this has nothing to do with that project, and MMPO was being lambasted without, I think it's the only road, I believe, in the city of Morgantown, which is actually paving. You got that $8 million to pave Dorsey, and they're down, the Dorsey is down at Greenbag Road, and it's causing enormous bus problems.
Let's look into what it actually is.
They're at the intersection knowing the road.
Oh, they're milling Dorsey Avenue at the intersection.
Right, but I want to get this clear, because I
Yeah.
believe MMPO is to blame for something that we had nothing to do with.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a normal maintenance issue.
That's a normal, that's exactly right. But it would be nice, going with what you said, that if they were doing that, they should have told the bus garage and everyone else, because it's caused a real problem, and rightfully so. Second day of school, and you had the major intersection being blocked. But it has nothing to do,
Yeah,
I want to clear,
and
it
I
has
would-
nothing to do with MMPO and the Green Bag Road $18 million project, correct?
To the best of my knowledge. And I will reach out to the
Yes,
district.
we should find out what it is.
And I will let you know.
Bill, reach out to the district.
I'll do that first thing. I will clarify that and let the policy board know. I'll do that first thing in the morning.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Bill. Any other questions of Bill? All right, thank you so much. Normally, I would do the next item earlier. But let's talk a little bit about some board recognition. First of all, I'd like to welcome Mark Downs, our new representative from City Council. Welcome. And welcome back Steve Blanco.
Hey, it's good to be back.
Who is up and at 'em, and we're glad to see you.
Thank you.
And welcome, Mark. Look forward to having your input on this group. And Mark is replacing a gentleman that has a long-standing history on this group. And so tonight we have a resolution recognizing Bill Kolecki, Councilman Kolecki. I don't know, how many years did he serve?
I believe it was 12.
12 years served in this group, and is a great public servant. So we want to, should I read this so the audience can know?
Please.
Okay. I'll take a stab at it. Bear with me. So we have a resolution of the MMMPO, Morgantown Metropolitan Planning Organization, Bill Kolecki. Whereas Councilman Bill Kolecki has shown great dedication and interest in improving transportation in the city of Morgantown and Mon County, and whereas Mr. Kolecki dedication and determination has improved planning for future facilities, as well as helped to improve existing transportation facilities and enhance alternative forms of transportation for all residents in the area. And whereas Mr. Kolecki has now left the Morgantown Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board. Now therefore, be it resolved, Mr. Bill Kolecki is recognized for high achievement and dedication to improving transportation for all citizens of Morgantown and Mon County, resolved this 21st day of August 2025. So with that, I would accept a motion to approve. Second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Bill.
A small recognition for a lot of community service and work. So thank you, Bill, if you're tuned in.
Are any of us
Hopefully-
allowed to share anything about Bill if we'd be compelled to? I mean, I'll start first.
You mean
Go
the
for
legal
it.
stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming onto this as a young person, Bill was always very welcoming to me, and he talked to me, and I appreciated that. And there were some times we'd even, gather for a meal after our meetings, and it was good to get to know Bill on that level and at this level. And you can learn a lot from your elders, and Bill's not insulted by that. He knows he's been around. He's a journeyman for a long time. So, Bill, I appreciate the time we spent together. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Anyone else?
Well, I just very much admired his dedication, his thoughtfulness, the fact that he showed up and worked hard and came to some good conclusions, and he's definitely missed.
Well, I'm honored by the fact that I get to sign this because actually Bill was mayor at the time I was being interviewed and selected for my position, and so I've known him from day one, and like you all, very much enjoyed working with him, and I'm sure he won't sit in this chair too long. He'll be out and about in the community and stay active and involved. So, congratulate, enjoy a little time for yourself, right?
Yeah, we're hoping that right now he's off doing something fun. But
Yeah, you gotta take a break, right? All right, fantastic, thank you. We'll consider that resolution passed, and we'll get that to Mr. Kolecki, so, fantastic. So next on the agenda is the 2025-2055 Metropolitan Transportation Plan Development Update, and Jackie is going to give us an update and go to the newsletter and show us some visuals.
The mouse will work over here. The mouse is giving me a little bit of trouble. So on August 19th this week, the MPO staff held our first MTP public meeting at Mountain Line Transit Authority. We had 19 people sign in, and it was a mix of community members and community leaders. Staff was there to discuss current and future projects for the MTP with everyone who was there. We had printed out flyers that had more information on the update and QR codes for online surveys. The mouse is not great. So if you go on our website, you can find the MTP page. If you go to Get Involved, there's the MTP update, or if you scroll down, you can go where it says click here. And then this is a page that Jink designed. It has our development schedule, which has information on tentative public meetings, pop-ups we're going to do in a virtual meeting. If you scroll further down, we have a project survey where you can comment on individual projects, or a community survey that's a much more general survey about transportation and getting around the area. And then if you scroll further down, we get to these pictures. These are the boards that we have posted and printed out at the public meetings, so people can walk around and look at them. These first two are Tier 1, or the TIP committed Tier 1 and Tier 2 projects, and then Tier 3 and Tier 4, so people can have a visualization of what we already have in the plan. And then we have the downtown Morgantown traffic study printed out, Brookhaven Road improvements, sub-area conceptual connections, and then sorry. And then Star City and University Avenue pedestrian facility improvements. All of these boards were printed out at the meeting, and at the next couple of public meetings, we will have these and a chance for people to give us feedback, give us their thoughts. And this is just the website we have, so if people can't make it or don't really want to go to a public meeting, they can still see all the information online and be able to reach out to us. Our next public meeting will be on September 11th at the City of Morgantown here from 4 to 7. It'll be set up the same way with the boards. Staff will be available for questions, and we will be advertising our public meetings on our social media platforms, on our website. We want to put some ads in the Dominion Post, and we also have a mailing list that I will be sending out information to. So that's kind of the MTP update. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, and those boards were also the same boards that were included in your agenda pack.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to thank Mountain Line for hosting.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good turnout, right?
Yeah, we had 19 people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good.
And we'll promote that next meeting on all the buses and all that.
Thank you. And you did that for the first one. She put them in all the buses and around Mountain Line. So that was another awesome way that we were able to reach out to people.
Tell us again the date of the next meeting.
It'll be September 11th. It's a Thursday, and it'll be from 4 to 7, and it'll be here.
small recommendation, can you add these particular public meetings to the info page, their calendar?
Yeah, we can.
I wish all the MPOs would use it much more frequent than some of them do. It's great for a one-stop shop for us in Charleston to find out when all the meetings are, because believe it or not, some of them slip by me.
I'll have to talk to the chairman of West Virginia AMPO about that. And
Yeah, get on it.
give him a
He's
stern-
a troublemaker. He's hard to deal with sometimes.
When you look in the mirror.
Little inside, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a specific board? The one board that I want to see, and I've not seen it because I wasn't able to attend, is the Grumbine Island, which is probably the big question of how is the route going to go? That has been a lot, and I couldn't answer that, and I'm interested too. How are you wanting to bring the road on this transportation so we would end up closing Grumbine Island?
The exact design is actually best available in the actual report.
At the time, yeah.
In the report, it is, we'll provide the whole policy board with that page, but
Okay.
it's basically isolates Grumbine's Island, and there's a small connector that goes in the vicinity of Fayette Street that would be involved with that. But it's mostly just closing the street closings and making sure that we have optimized traffic signals. That's the big thing. What the modeling showed was that the traffic can be handled, but one of the key factors is optimizing the traffic signals.
So is there no direct, see, the big problem when this was all developed before, and then I was even on city council back then, was there was a concern that there's only two roads that go north-south.
Right.
Beechhurst and through Grumbine Island. If you close Grumbine Island, what the first concept was, and this is why we voted against it, it was to take it behind WVU building, put it on, I don't know what that road is behind there, and then WVU would be in charge of the road, and that's the reason that we're not going to allow that. So my question is, how are you now going to get the traffic?
It's a combination of Willie Street is a minor, takes a bit of the traffic off, and it's a combination of connecting into Stewart's Street and going that way.
That's what we want to see. I mean,
Yeah.
because I'll be honest with you, I want to
it's-
see how you're going to get the traffic from back here through without using Grumbine Island and not bringing them on Beechers Avenue. And I think.
Well, they are going to go on Beechhurst Avenue, but the capacity is there on Beechhurst Avenue.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, and that's.
No.
Well, it's, that's what the modeling shows.
Or can you get us those boards?
Yeah, well, I can tell you right.
We have the boards in the report.
It can't handle just today's. It was backed all the way up to the Coliseum when I picked up Steve Blanco. There is no way I will support, and I'm going to go up public now, that you're going to do and put it on Beechers Avenue. We were always informed there would be a second route north-south, and that's what I'm hoping the study would show. I can tell you, Mr. Benson is adamant on closing Grumbine Island, and I said personally, I will support it if we have another north-south route. But if you don't, it's not logical.
It connects back into University Avenue, and what the modeling shows is that you go to Beechhurst and then come up to Campus Drive, and you either take University Avenue or you take Stewart Street as you go around it.
I think it's fair to say we'll get a more detailed,
We'll get
the picture and get a more detailed briefing, and then, and obviously the real design work has to take place, and so there's many stops along the way. I understand that path, right?
I was going to say, one of the key things to keep in mind is, the way the signalization and everything currently work would drastically change with the removal of Grumbine's Island.
Yeah.
So your green times and everything else are going to change on a variety of intersections. I agree on the surface that, it's hard to fathom that Beechhurst and University can carry anything more than they already are. And again, that comes down to the modeling and how it all works out with the changing of the signal timings and whatnot with that. But We got a long ways to go before we get into all of that.
Right.
That's, why it's all part of the long-range plan.
But we do have good quality modeling where we went out and collected actual data. One of the key problems that people I don't think they really realize with Grunbines Island is that Grunbines Island is part of the problem on Beechhurst. It's a major portion of the problem on Beechhurst because it backs up traffic on University Avenue. And when traffic backs up on University Avenue, it backs it up all the way onto Mont Boulevard. And so
I just feel, I'm sorry, I mean, I will tell you this, and for the city council members, that was what we were adamant when I was on city council. We wanted to make sure that the traffic could go by the businesses downtown, and if you take them completely away, that's a real problem. And I just feel like this is 40 years later, and we're getting the same information, which was, oh yeah, Beechhurst Avenue can take it. And I look forward to seeing how we're going to get the traffic moved from north-south besides Beechhurst Avenue.
And I think probably the best thing to do would be to set up and show you how the traffic model works, because that's one reason we went to the study with this way. It actually shows how the traffic flows when you make these changes. So
could it be possible that I think it'd be important for all of us on the MMPO to see this, because I think it'd be really
Maybe we need a workshop.
enlightening, yeah, even if it's a workshop, just for that, because that to me is the most important. That and number one, I agree with you, the signals, signal timing, we agree. But that second one is an issue that will change the entire city of Morgantown if you close Grunbine Island and don't have an access for those cars to go through. What will happen is people will stay away from downtown Morgantown.
Well, and that's part, on the steering committee, we discussed some of that, and we realized that probably that one project alone needs more education than any of the others. So that's what, first we probably need to educate ourselves, right?
Right. And this is also why we're doing this as part of a full Metropolitan Transportation Plan update, because of the magnitude of this issue. And rather than, we have a study report, just ask the policy board to adopt it. So we understand that there needs to be a great deal of community discussion about it.
I think there'll be some value to the board here to actually see that.
Yes, I think it'd be really helpful, because maybe
it actually does
we're
the
missing
visuals,
something.
it shows you the movements and things of that nature, and I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
I do think that, there is some interest, and we should keep an open mind to downtown being less of a pass-through and more of a destination, right? I mean, there's a lot of traffic that just uses downtown to get from point A to point B, doesn't stop anywhere in between. So, maybe if we take some of that transient traffic off of downtown, people would use it more as a destination. And I think I'm open to hearing and seeing how the model might demonstrate that.
I think the benefit of the study was it gives us tangible, dare I say, scientific evidence that it can work. It's whether or not how that all pans out, and getting that better understanding and confidence in it is part of the process.
And also one thing, just it's a little prelate preview on this. The way the model was constructed is we got origin and destination information, real-time information from people who travel through downtown. And you do that with cell phone data. So it's real data of people who were traveling through downtown. And then you use those origins and destinations to assign the traffic to the routes through downtown. So we're actually getting actual user information to do the modeling, rather than just an engineer's guesswork. And normally the cell phone data is made that much cheaper. This was an extremely expensive study. If we'd actually had to do origin and destinations, we would have added hundreds of thousands of dollars to this already expensive study. So
I think the
We'll,
whole,
we'll arrange a workshop
I
on
think that would be
that.
helpful.
Yes.
And we'd be happy to.
It definitely would, Tom.
Yeah.
To your point, to your point.
Yeah,
I'd be
appreciate those
thinking
comments
about-
because we know that you're representing many other people in the community that probably feel
Yep.
the same way.
Yeah.
So we
Sure.
did understand that this was going to be a big education project in order to,
Right.
You bear the scars of having gone through this, gone down this path.
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people during the school year already avoid Grumbine Island. I rarely
Oh, I agree.
take a chance and go through there during the school year at all. So I think it's interesting to see how it actually models, and we should suspend our decision-making till we've really looked at it.
I think first off, you got to figure out what is it we want? What are we going for here? And to your point, a lot of people avoid Morgantown. If you go into a Walmart or any store, they have impulse items that people didn't go there to buy, but they're walking past it and they see it. So that can hurt businesses as far as they're not going downtown, so they didn't know the leather shop was there. So you got to figure out what it is you're trying to do here. If you're just wanting to move people through, vehicles through, that's one thing. But if you want to create
We'd like them to
commerce,
stop.
that's my point. Exactly.
But if they're not coming down and there's no avenue to get to downtown, they're not going to stop. I agree that you have those cars, but you need to have that north-south second. That's the worst part of the city of Morgantown traffic plan. We only have 2 roads north-south.
Well,
I have a very good feeling that we'll have a lot more discussion on this subject.
Yeah.
I
as we
imagine.
move forward, so.
Well, once we
This
see
will
it
be
all good.
fully discussed.
It's all good, and I think that's what needs to be done in order to get to a good conclusion.
Oh, she asked you? Oh, I think you were pointing at that.
And again, one of the other aspects is what I've always thought with Grumbine's Island was the safety of the students and pedestrians.
Oh, yeah.
Just the idea of removing traffic through there just raises the safety in that area tremendously. So, yeah, there's obviously going to probably be trade-offs somewhere along the line. What's acceptable, vehicular, pedestrian. That's ultimately, how a study shows, hey, if you do this, this is what your results expected to be versus this. But yeah, a workshop might help, understand the situation. Because I'll be honest, there's been projects that, through my years in the highway department, I'm like, that's never going to work. And lo and behold, it did. And I was shocked by it, and I ate my words. But yeah, just educating, everybody and understanding how the traffic flows, pedestrian improvements, safety, all those types of things, and there's going to have to be trade-offs with some things. Nobody's going to get everything they want. That's never the case. But just trying to everybody get educated on how the modeling and everything works and how it all came together, I think would be a good idea.
Yeah, we'll
It's
make sure that happens.
It's lovely to hear you say the safety of pedestrians. It sort of rings in my ears very positively.
But again, if that's our goal, that's where we.
No,
gotta
that's a part of the puzzle.
look. Well, that's what I'm
Part of the
saying.
puzzle.
So I just want to bring up that we shared the excitement that there were 19 people at the public participation meeting. So that kind of gives you a feel as to who's coming out. And that's the purpose of these meetings, is to provide this information, to answer the questions. So next meeting is September 11th at the city from 4 to 7.
Yes.
So I think we should just encourage people to go out and go to those
Yes.
meetings and ask the questions.
Absolutely. This is what this is all about, is getting that public input, and they also get a little education, and that's all part in the process, and we're just getting started, right?
This
So,
was
all right.
step one of many.
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out on the website, the MTP website, where we have all of the boards, right underneath it, there's further information on studies, analysis, methodology. So for the downtown traffic study, we have Kimley Horn's PowerPoint presentation from the last MPO meeting, and I cannot summarize it as well as they did, but there's a ton of information on there. We will work on consolidating it, making a map, having a workshop, but I wanted to let you guys know for now that is available. So,
As is the entire report.
yes, as is the entire report.
As is the report.
That is.
For the real detail-oriented people, you can look at the entire.
Yeah,
you
all
go-
1,000 pages of it.
Yes. The community
Can you pull
garden.
up the community garden
Yeah.
on the newsletter real quick, and then we'll be done? Some of that. You don't have that straight. You sure you can afford that? Prices are crazy. And they're probably importing from China.
3% dollars.
I can wait for this.
This has been a reminder to ask.
I didn't think it worked the last time. I think that one was on.
It was over years.
Sorry, that took a second. I think the mouse is dying, so it was. On our website, we have a newsletter section. This was from the spring newsletter. One of the pages was entirely about the community gardens. You can see the Morgantown Mutual Aid Community Garden on the upper left. On the right, Scott's Run Settlement. On the bottom left, Chris White's Community Garden. And then on the right, that's the site of the Greenmont Neighborhood Association Community Garden. They're a little bit on pause while they're dealing with some stuff, but they have been in communication with me, as have all of the recipients. I've been trying to share on Facebook when they post about events for the community gardens. The MPO is here to help share what is going on. Once all of the gardens have been completed, I would like to go do site visits, see what's going on, and be able to give the policy board a final update, and then stay in contact with them to make sure everything is going smoothly.
On the Greenmont Gardens, we have 9 beds installed now, and we've got, we're waiting on putting in a water tap. So that work should happen in a couple weeks, and then
That's awesome.
and then they'll be available for folks to use.
Awesome. When that happens, if there's any information you'd like me to post, spread, I can, please let me know, and I will make sure to do that.
Sure. Thanks for the
Yeah, my
thanks for the
understanding
support.
is that we have about half of the grant dollars invested in what you're seeing on in the
Yes.
photos above.
And Chris White, he has used all of his funds. He's actively growing. I've seen him post pictures of produce. It seems like he has a good following, a good community where he is, and they're taking off, which is awesome.
So it's fair to say at this point it's been a good success and going to continue to be so. So thank you. Appreciate it, Jackie.
Thank you.
All right, so project updates, Bill gave most of them in his executive director's report, but we have one more update.
Yeah, one that I did leave out. The MPO and the City of Morgantown have been in discussion with West Virginia DOH about the potential for a ped bridge across Don Knotts Boulevard, and there have always been concerns on the Division of Highways about that. The discussions have resulted into the Division of Highways accepting the idea that it is a potential idea that could be constructed, and if the city and the MPO wish to move forward with it, it's one that could happen. So that is a milestone, considering how long I believe the city of Morgantown's been working on this project. But that will be up to the city as the primary interested party in moving that forward. And of course, the city is one of our member agencies who will work with them as such. So,
Good news.
It's been a pretty long time coming, I think.
All right, great. That completes our scheduled business. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board?
Call on 155 tomorrow.
Yes.
I will say both the interchange projects are moving along at a much nicer pace. We're finally getting to a point where getting federal sign off on designs and such, and it's been a journey. So, all right, great. Hearing no other business, I'll call for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, stand up.